to, deal with this whole like screen sharing fun.
No big deal.
Beautiful. Screen number 2. No, we don't want that. We want, I don't want that. I want to stop screen sharing. Start screen share, and we're going to do a window. There, we're learning, Crystal, day by day, every time.
Every platform's different.
Exactly. And, if I would do it more frequently, it'd be much easier. But I'm going to pull it up on my phone. And let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday, fun day. Coming at you with a very rare Monday occurrence. I know this like never happens, you guys, because usually we're rocking our Thursday night lives, aka Friday Juniors, but we wanted to kick off the week with some fun. So the most fun we're going to have obviously is, celebrating you guys, those of you who decide to take action and just decide, hey, I'm stepping up now. I'm applying for this scholarship. I want the chance to change my life with one-on-one coaching this year. And so, yeah, we're going to celebrate that. But my girl Michelle over here, that's a much bigger deal to me. Like, she is a badass, and I am insanely excited that she agreed to do this. This is like the highlight of my job, you guys, getting to talk to people about how their lives have changed by the actions that they chose to take, right? I didn't do anything other than provide Michelle with like a GPS over this past year or so. She truly took the seat, stepped into that driver's seat, and was like, I'm doing all the things, right? Whatever Crystal says is probably good for me. She probably knows what she's talking about, and so I'm going to do the damn thing. So if you are watching live, will you please like or comment or drop an emoji or something so that I know, because I want to know who's watching. I pay attention to these things, you guys. I know who actually wants to learn from us and who's just here for like free shit and who's just here like because they don't want to be. If you don't want to be here, leave. That's great. Whatever. We don't need you. We have an amazing community. So jumping in, we're going to save the announcement for a little bit later because I want to talk to Michelle. Michelle, what's happening? Tell us a little bit about you. I want to know, are you a mom? Are you a daughter? Are you a working woman? Tell us the deets. What do we need to know about Michelle?
I am all those things. I am a mother to a 3.5-year-old amazing kid.
Who exist. Some of us have amazing kids in our lives. I will definitely say that your daughter seems to be awesome.
she's a cool kid. I won't say she doesn't have her toddler moments, but like she's a really cool kid. I am a working mom. I'm the sole income provider for my household. I'm stupidly lucky to have a husband who has always wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. So I have a stay-at-home dad in the house. I am an engineer. I am a dog mom. You can't see her, but she's right behind me. That's like the high list. I have always been a runner.
Yeah.
At all stages of life. Some people say you can't be a runner if you're not fast, but that's a bunch of garbage. Yeah, I think that's the high list.
Okay. All right. You can't be a runner if you're not fast. So what does that mean? Like, let's talk about like pre-carbs and consistency. What did like not being a fast runner look like for you?
I have never like been a runner for time, which is fine. Like I am here for the back of the pack crowd. The race company, I have 2 jobs. Technically I quit, but I can't get away. The race company I work for always celebrates the last runner. Like we throw a freaking party for them. Like so running for me just looked like friendships and meeting people along the way and just like being really jazzed about like what your body can do for you.
Yeah.
What I didn't know was what I wasn't doing for my body at the time, but I figured it out eventually. My body was strong.
Mm-hmm.
I would run at least a half marathon a year. I always got 1,000 miles a year. Not necessarily running. So between walking and running, like on foot, I would always log to get my 1,000 miles a year in my spreadsheet.
Damn.
Yeah. Steps were never my issue. Exercise was never my issue.
Nope.
But just friendships and me time.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are definitely like, I see that about you, obviously, in our time together. You're all about like community and support. And like, you guys want Michelle on your team. She is like the hype squad all of us need in our lives. I've experienced it. I met Michelle through a mutual friend, and like I remember meeting her because she was like helping with like wedding showers and like putting people's weddings out. Like she's all into the details. You heard her with her spreadsheet and her 1,000 miles a year. Like she's very into details. She wants to do things. She wants to do them well, and she wants other people to feel like excited and happy about the things that they're doing. And she knows the best way to do that is to support them. So that's one of the things that I love about you is like, you don't even need it reciprocated. Like it doesn't matter if somebody else is going to cheer you on, you're still going to show up and do that for them. So I love that about you. So what made it a really big deal that you decided to like reach out and get into coaching with me last year was that to me, that looked like this transfer of, okay, I give to everyone else in my life. Now it's time to like focus on me and what do I got to give to me now to like thrive and truly take charge. So, you know, we talked about kind of the running and stuff prior to jumping into coaching. And you said exercise wasn't the issue. So what did life look like before jumping into coaching? And like, what made you be like, I need a nutrition coach?
I always thought I could do it by myself. And I had, this is a slippery slope, like disclaimer. Like I don't want to get all, I try to be really sensitive about when I was pregnant and postpartum, I worked really hard on like accepting and appreciating my body for where it was. And I am not happy because I have lost weight, and I wasn't unhappy at my higher weight. A lot of, if you've worn the fat suit or if you're in the fat suit, you know what I mean. It's really hard to appreciate your body when society tells you your body is wrong.
And it's really hard to appreciate it and still simultaneously want to change it and feel like that's an okay thing.
Yeah. I had successfully like lost weight before, like in my fitness pal. I had a really great like little Facebook group that I had set up with, well, I mean, my run buddy had set up with some friends, and we'd like have competitions and count our calories. We'd log in my fitness pal and like be like, well, I work a desk job, I'm sedentary. I had like a heart rate monitor, so I'd like measure my exercise calories, and like I had gotten down to 10 pounds heavier than I am right now, and like that was a rockin' weight for me. But I was eating like 1,300 calories a day. Like I thought a healthy meal was like an apple and peanut butter. Like that was my lunch like every day when I was in that shade of life. And I was hangry. I mean, like I was, and after my long runs, I remember just like, I was couch potato the rest of the day. I could eat whatever I wanted because I burned like 1,800 calories on my long run,
very much that binge restrict relationship with food. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I was very good about logging like during the week when I was at work in my routine, and then on weekends I'd run my long run and just like I'd eat whatever I wanted,
I earned this food, right? It's alive, and like doing this whole thing of living life to like earn food. We have to earn it by running miles on it. Yeah.
I was a queen of calorie counting and like exercise logging. I stopped doing that when I was pregnant because I was like, I'm just going to nourish my body. I'm going to grow this baby. My body is strong. I can do what I want to do. Like I'm just going to like focus on like eating well and whatever that means. And like, I'm not going to worry about counting my calories when I'm pregnant. So, I stayed fit and I ran through my pregnancy, and I was so proud of myself. I did my strength. I loved body pump, like at the gym.
That was your crowd, right?
Yeah, it was my jam.
You like that because of like COVID, right?
Yeah, I did lose that because of COVID, but I actually lost it first because I had a baby. And a lot of people, a lot of moms, I admire them who like keep up their gym routine in that first year postpartum. But man, postpartum just crushed me. Breastfeeding was really hard. Being sleep deprived really sucked. My husband was like a champion. I go to work and like pump away, and he'd like have Reese's in my bag for me, like, oh yeah, I earn these Reese's. I'm pumping food for my baby. Like, so I gained a good 8 pounds after I had my baby, and I lost those 8 pounds by myself over the course of a year.
Woo!
And then I was like, I am so tired. Like I just feel like crap. Like I've lost 8 pounds, and for what? I still just feel like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to be a tired parent to my child, who is like light of my life.
Yeah.
She just like fills my entire heart with joy. Even if she like robbed me of sleep for the first year of her life.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of kids, but like right there, you got me like tearing up, Michelle. So how about we don't do that? Let's not.
Yeah, sorry, I'll try not to, Crystal. She is the light of my life.
You suck.
I was not a kid person before I had my own. Like, to be clear, I totally get the kid-free crowd. Like, props. You guys have more money than I do.
No kids.
But I just wanted to be around for her. And I didn't know if I wanted to have more kids. I think we might be done having kids. But if she's my only kid and I'm her only parent, like I need to show up for her.
Yeah.
So she was honestly my first motivator, but I found myself as motivation throughout the journey.
That's huge.
But mostly for my kid. It was like, I need to be around for her. My husband's got some autoimmune diseases. Like I need to be around for him.
Yeah.
I only get one body, and whatever I'm doing, like I know I'm close.
Yeah.
But I'm missing something because I still feel like trash. I'm so tired. I was so tired.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was important. You said, being there for your kid, because what if, God forbid, you are the only parent at some point? And then, I've seen this even float around on like different memes and stuff, right? Like you say you would die for your kids, but you're not willing to like do something to live for your kids, right? So that's the thing that I think moms especially, they don't know how to be a little bit selfish and like take care of them. And so I find myself having to repeat that constantly in check-ins with women. Like, you cannot pour from an empty cup, you guys. Your kid deserves better than that. Your relationships deserve better than that. When you're not taking care of you, like, how are you going to expect anything else to flourish? Like, you have to be your top priority. And then those other things will get that overflow from that overpouring cup. So yeah,
it's just true. And I want to like emphasize the selfishness bit, because like I hesitated to talk to you for a long time. I talked to our mutual friend. I was like, so what have you heard about Crystal's thing? Like, I don't know. Because it's hard to say like you're worth it. I felt very selfish committing to mostly financially. Like that meant that my savings rate was going to be lower, and like I felt selfish investing that much in myself.
Yeah.
That was a big, and I'm a penny pincher, so like that was a big jump to take.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's important, right? It's like, it is an investment and it's not a forever thing, right? Like, people don't have problems going and spending $1,000 on a TV tomorrow, or going and buying a car and making that monthly car payment for years to come. But to say, hey, can you just like, at the time I was only making clients work with me for 3 months, but at the time be like, hey, can you just commit to something for 12 weeks with me? Like, you had to really hem and haw over it. And I know that you're not like other people. Like, you wouldn't just go buy $1,000 TV. You wouldn't just go buy a brand new car. Like, if you didn't have to. Literally, we've had this conversation, but there's a lot of people that have zero problems, like we just talked about, dropping $200 on Starbucks. For them, it's my me thing. It's my treat. Like, oh, treat yourself to fucking coffee. Go to the grocery store and buy some coffee and invest in yourself. And I don't care if it means coaching, or if it means, getting a massage because your body truly needs that recovery, or if it means, investing in education and knowledge in some place. So yeah. Rant, tantrum.
That's why I blocked out the hour.
Yeah, that's what we get. All right, cool. So feel good about that. We've kind of talked about jumping into it and how you finally were like, all right, I'm doing this for me. So, where were you at, like, in terms of health, right? Like, not only like, did you ever do anything with the doctor where they were like, hey, Michelle, you got to get this in check? Or did you feel like, no, I'm pretty much a healthy person. I just don't have the energy I need to really give what I need to my daughter?
Yep. So like I said, like exercise was never the issue. When you're in your annual visit, your doctor's like, how much do you exercise? I'm like, I'm getting a walk or running every day. I do body pump 2 to 3 times a week. Like, check those boxes.
Yeah.
My cholesterol was always high. Even in college when I was a smaller size. That's just something that runs in the family. I got cholesterol up the wazoo. I was before pregnancy, I was always just like overweight BMI. And like, to be clear, I think BMI is trash, but you know, it's a metric that doctors look at. So, you know, like an overweight BMI, but postpartum, I was obese. I didn't realize I was obese until I qualified for my first COVID shot early because I was obese.
We're there.
Yeah, that was my little obesity perk. Yeah, I was not in good health. Though I was very active, whenever I pushed myself for a run, usually for distance, I mean, I was done. And I would get woozy a lot. Like I would just get dizzy, like at work, and just like I keep electrolytes at my desk, and I just like have some electrolytes, and like, and I probably just wasn't eating enough. I still don't really know what that was about. I would just be like, gosh, I feel like crap. I'm so dizzy. I'm gonna drink some water.
Right, just kind of brushing it on the rug. And I think that's huge too, is like people don't really understand how good they can feel because they're just so used to feeling like crap.
I also just like part of it's like you get older and you don't know what to expect as you get older. And then like you have a kid and you're like, well, maybe this is just what parenting looks like.
That's why I didn't go there. I'm like, ooh, I don't want to feel that way.
No, like, yeah, like legit. I'm like, I don't want to feel like this. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I had high cholesterol. I was overweight to obese, and I got woozy a lot. I just get like dizzy spells and just like sit down for the rest of the day, or like lose productivity at work because I was just like, oh, I just can't focus. I'm dizzy, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's basically it, right? It's like we had these health concerns. It wasn't like you were on your deathbed or anything, but you just knew it was probably like this downward spiral where like things have to get better because they're just going to keep getting worse and worse probably, right?
I didn't feel like, the title, I was like, well, if this is what aging looks like, if this is what parenting looks like, wow, I'm in trouble.
Maybe my husband can figure it out and I can just lock myself in a room and work for 24 hours a day, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So then, what ultimately made you decide, like, we're pulling the trigger? You talked to our mutual friend, you decided, okay, we're going to do this. Like, was there any instant where you were just like, okay, we're just doing it? Or did you have to have a conversation with your husband? Lots of things that really went into like what led to finally just doing it.
Gosh, I sent so many people notifications about this. I'm wondering who's watching. Bless my husband, because I was just like, I'm going to do this and I need you to support me. Like there was no conversation. Like I decided, and it was so.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, my coworkers are probably like, yeah, good job, Jason. I decided, and he cooks he is an amazing baker and chef, which I was like, this is going to be hard. And it actually wasn't, but I thought it was going to be really hard because he's an amazing cook and I am so spoiled by his food. I decided, thinking about my daughter, and also, being inspired by the race company I work for, there are people in their 80s running half marathons, and they're not complaining about achy joints and how tired they are. They finish and they look and feel great. I'm like, I want to be the person with gray hair at the finish line that still looks strong after running a half marathon. And I was not on track to be that. So,
right.
I was
a fraction of their age. What the hell?
Yeah. I want to be that cool person when I'm super old. So
you shall be. It's happening.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's important too, right? You just said, I'm doing it. There wasn't a conversation. I don't know. Like, I can't remember if I've made a post about this or not, but I straight up lied to my husband for a year when I invested in coaching. I did not tell him for over a year. I just paid my coach. He was like, what are you doing? Like, I would be filling out my check-in sheet for my coach and stuff. We'd be like sitting at an airport getting ready to like fly home on a Monday morning. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I just like do this like weekly check-in thing with myself, just kind of see where I'm at, which to him was like normal, right? Because I'm in the health and fitness space. Like I'm very cognizant of what I'm doing and whatever. But I literally did not tell him for over a year that I was spending hundreds of dollars every month on this thing for me. Mostly for me, I was just embarrassed, right?
It's
like
a shame thing.
Yeah, I was like, I should know how to do this, right? Like, I'm in the fitness space. I've tried every diet out there. I've done all the things. I know what to do. I just need someone to help support me. So I am, all of you women that are watching, they're like, well, I know what to do. I've seen such and such bullshit diet that I can do. I know I'm supposed to eat protein and plants. I know I'm supposed to drink water and like get off my ass, but you're never going to do it if you are the only one holding yourself to it, right? Because you're always going to let yourself take the easy route out. So for me, I did the same thing. I was like, there's no conversation, but I also was a liar for over a year. So bless his heart for like not divorcing me. But I don't think he understood, but he understood, right? It was one of those things where it's like, okay, I see where you're coming from, but like I would have supported you. And so I think that's something that Coach Liz, who's now on the team, has been talking about, is like, get that support system, you guys. Like, shout it from the rooftops, tell people what you're doing, because they get to see that you're really investing in yourself and you're trying to make a life change. And how can they support you if you're like embarrassed to say anything about it and if you're not actually supporting yourself? So yeah.
I was definitely in that same shame spot until I don't know how much weight I had to lose or how much time had passed before I started telling people, like, I need to stack you for business cards, legit. Because like anytime anything about weight loss or, being tired or getting old or whatever, yeah. I'm just like, I have a coach. Here's her number.
Exactly. She is the hype squad, you guys. I told you.
But also you mentioned the
comments on this thing, because I want to see what everybody's saying about you. But anyway,
the accountability bit, I think, is important to mention at home. Like in my workplace, I feel very lucky to be surrounded by a lot of great mentors and people who are willing to sit with you and learn with you or push you to like try something new or encourage you to try something outside the box. Going and buying a car. Having that accountability from the CNC crew has been really helpful. Like you have a work mentor, you have, of course, like personal friends who have similar goals. But unless they have, like certifications in education, you're all just kind of following the blind.
The blind leading the blind. We're all tracking 1,200 calories in MyFitnessPal, and we're all, exercising off the calories on the weekends and eating them back because we earned it. So totally get it. Okay. All right. So let's I kind of feel silly asking this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways, and you can pass or answer. What stood out to you about me? Like, why did you think I could be the one to help? Because there's no shortage of coaches out there. I can tell you that. And you kind of like knew me personally, but
totally superficial, but like you have results that I would want. Like if I had those biceps, I would be like flexing everywhere. I'm working on it.
You're getting there, girl. I see it. Yeah. I just went to the tattoo and my husband's like, I thought you would get it right here. I'm like, then I'd have to walk around like this all the time. Cool, but
superficial, someone who has results that I would like to see in myself one day. I think also you being a friend of a friend helped like lower the fear barrier for me. Like we'd gone for a hike for this friend's bachelorette party. Like, we'd like met in passing a few times. Yeah. So I think that kind of lowered the fear barrier, knowing that you were a good friend of a friend.
A real person.
Because, like just like a real human being. I think that made you much more approachable for me.
Good. That's what I like to hear. I want people to think, even though I'm kind of a bitch, you guys, I'm still a person. And I'm still like somebody who can help you, and it's tough love, right? But my clients get to see a whole other side of me too, because it is not out of the question for me to break down crying on their video check-ins. It happens to a few of you more often than others, but yeah, I'm like bawling. I'm like, oh my God, you finally look at yourself the way I see you, so yeah, it's a whole other side. I'm a bitch, and I'm also a pretty damn good coach, if I do say so myself. So anyway. It also
helps that you're not, you weren't my friend when you started working together, because your friends will support you, no matter what, which is like what friends are for. But it was nice to have someone who was not my friend when I felt pretty crappy about myself, to be in my corner saying like, oh my gosh, look at this transformation over the last 3 weeks. Where to me, like, I feel the same. I'm like, I see no change. Even like, look at this change, or like, look at how your energy was rated in the first 2 weeks, and how you're like, we're looking at more than weight. You're looking at our energy and our sleep and our, stress levels, all that. You pointed out those wins that I hadn't noticed, or, you know, and that my friends wouldn't notice either. You know, I'm not telling them to pay that much close attention to my mental health.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. It's not cookie cutter, you guys. I'm not like, hey, here's what you eat. Here's what you do for your workout. All right. Let me know next week if you lost 2 pounds. Like, I literally don't give a shit about the scale. Like, when people just harp on the scale, I'm like, cool. So that's literally the least interesting thing about you. That's the least interesting thing about your check-in. Let's talk about the fact that you're getting good sleep. Let's talk about the fact that you can be around Oreos and not eat 20 of them, right? Like, let's talk about the fact that me and Michelle go to McGill's on a regular basis and nothing bad has happened. It's insane. Can you believe it?
I went today. I went to McGill's today.
What's wrong with you? I mean, I might go treat myself to a couple bitefuls of some salted caramel Oreo before I go to bed. I'm gonna be okay with it. All right, cool. All right, so, you know, then, like, what are some of the big things that you've learned this past year together? Like, because that's the thing. Like I said, it's not just here's your calories, here's your workouts. I'm here about the education so that you guys can figure this out for forever. So what are some of the things that you've adopted over this past year that you're like, I'm so glad I learned that. I'm so glad I didn't believe XYZ. I now know A, B, and C to be true.
I was very scared to stop like logging exercise calories. When entering this goal of life, like I was not logging, you know, postpartum. Like I had not logged into MyFitnessPal for years when we started working together. So I was like, there's no way I can eat 1990 calories a day and not be exercising my butt off and see progress in the direction that I would like to see. I had successfully, you know, lost weight eating 1,300 calories or whatever it was. And I was like I had lost weight so slowly doing that. Like losing a pound a month was a win.
And it's still a win, you guys. There's still nothing wrong with that.
That is true. And that's more where I am. That is more where I am now. But I had a lot to lose at the time.
But it's hard to lose a pound a month eating 1,300 calories a day. That is hard because nobody can sustain that, you guys.
Yeah. So I learned the importance of fueling. I thought it was really crazy that you gave me a minimum calorie count as well as a maximum every day. There would be days I'd get to the end of the day and be like, well, I'm shy. So I guess I'll go have a couple Oreos and some frozen yogurt because my coach said so.
And she's good. I listened to her.
Yeah, like it was really wild to me to have a minimum, because if I ever in the old days, if I was like accidentally hanging out at 1,000 calories or something, which if I had ever accidentally eaten 1,000 calories in the day, I was like, yeah, good job, self. Like, you're not hungry. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then MyFitnessPal gives you that feedback of good job. If you keep having days like this, you're going to weigh 6 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah. MyFitnessPal. This is why we don't listen to it. We just use it to log you guys. We do nothing else.
It's so dangerous. So yeah, just like the value of food and how good food can make you feel. I did not know the importance of protein. I didn't eat a lot of protein just because like one, meat is expensive. You know, like we have like pretty American dinners, like a slab of meat and potatoes and like corn. That was a pretty normal dinner for us.
Yeah.
But that was like my only meat of the day. And I didn't know where else to.
A restaurant, you guys, like pasta is cheap and buying a steak or fish is going to be more expensive, right? Because one is more high quality than the other and one takes a lot more money to produce. So anyways.
I didn't realize that there were inexpensive sources of protein out there, like lentils and quinoa, which are like the bread and butter to my meal prep every week now, and beans. What else did I learn? Oh, water.
Protein, yeah. The water. We got our water gang. Water challenge starts tomorrow, you guys. If you want to win $50,
I'm here for it. And the importance of sleep. Which don't get me wrong, I knew the importance of sleep after surviving the first year of parenthood.
Yeah.
But like figuring out like I feel my best with 8 hours of sleep, which is impossible when you have a newborn. But knowing like, okay, I had a rough week of sleep where like rough was like, I don't know, like 6.5 hours of sleep, which used to be like A+ sleep for me.
Yeah.
I can now I know to look back and recognize like, oh my gosh, I didn't sleep well this week. This week my priority needs to be like getting to bed the second my kid is asleep.
Yep.
And I'd tell my husband, sleep is my number one priority this week. Like, see you in the morning. Bye. Like, I'm going to bed.
I want to interject. So this is what I see from a lot of people. It's, oh, well, my kid finally went to bed and now I need me time. And so me time looks like scrolling on their phone, watching their crappy trash TV shows. Mm-hmm. And now for someone like you who's been so amazingly successful, you see that me time looks like taking care of me by getting my ass to bed. If the kid's sleeping and I can sleep, I'm going to freaking sleep.
But also, like, this is really tough to take on, like, to the moms of newborns and, like, I don't know, like 18-month-olds, like, they're still not sleeping good by then. Like,
you get classes, you guys.
you can control what you can, right? And if sleep is the uncontrollable, you can control the rest, like your hydration and your food prep and all that. My me time is getting to bed on time. And now that my kid sleeps on a normal schedule, I get up before she does, at least an hour before she does. And that is my me time in the morning. Because bedtime is, you never know what adventure bedtime holds for you. So,
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah. Having that morning me time before all these interruptions can get in the way, I think that's huge. And I will say the people who are most successful with like any sort of long-term fitness program, it's the people who work out first thing in the morning, not the people that go in the evening. Like that's just what research shows. And so I love that. I would be like coaching Orange Theory and I'd see Michelle outside walking in the freezing cold and snow. I'm like, who is this nut job? Oh, okay. And no, she wasn't an Orange Theory person. She's just out walking her dog, getting her steps in and having her alone time. I'm like, okay, you're a psycho. I love it.
Yeah. I think those are my big things that I learned. Like food, as we put it to my 3-year-old, like food gives us superpowers.
Yes.
And there's no such thing as bad food. There is more nutritious food and there is less nutritious food, but like we still have the donut.
Yeah.
And my daughter will always ask, like, Mom, like, what superpower does this have? Like, what does this do? And she knows, like, oh, it has protein. She goes, oh, it makes us strong.
Yeah.
And, but like, she'll be like, Mom, how are Fruity Pebbles good for us? And it's like, well, they do have some added vitamins and minerals, but mostly they're just fast energy and sugar, which is okay sometimes, It's not something we want to eat at every meal because it doesn't give us everything we need to be happy, healthy humans. So her favorite thing at dinner is always like, Mom, I looked that up. Like I looked up how beets are good for you. They have a lot of iron and folate. They help keep your blood pressure low.
Like your kid knows more about beets than I do. What the hell? Like this is amazing. So I heard somebody on a podcast recently, they were talking about like their kids and how they are all about like the protein and the whatever. And so their kids call it like we get protein PowerPoints or something like that. So like involve your kids, right? Like teach them what this stuff is about. And this is even more the reason why you shouldn't be trying to do this on your own. Like you should be learning so that these are the tools and strategies you can implement in your entire family. Because the last thing that I would want for a kid, if I ever chose to have one, which I won't, is for them to grow up like I did, where I like survived off of fast food. And that's not to any fault of my parents or anything. Like that's just the way it was. But if I had kids, I would want them to know like why it's not great to eat Taco Bell and McDonald's and Pizza Hut 7 days a week, right? So, if we can teach them, they're not going to have to go through the struggles that we did. Because I know former fat kid right here, like the fat friend, the girl who like couldn't get the guy ever, didn't have like prom dates, all that fun stuff. You guys, I would never want that for my daughter. Like it sucked. So if we can teach them from a young age, just the benefit of food instead of to like constantly be fearful of food or think that food is a punishment or exercise is a punishment or anything like that. Like I think that's so, so valuable. And so the fact that you've been able to like do that this past year is exciting, but I feel like you probably would have been the mom that like taught your kid that stuff with or without me, but I'm glad I got to hear for it.
I don't know. We try not to demonize food. And she's just, I don't know. I'm so proud of her. She'll clean up like some broccoli slaw. Granted, like there's like a tablespoon or two of ranch on there, but like girl will clean up a bowl of broccoli slaw. I'm so proud of her. I'm like, how many 3-year-olds do you know that will eat a salad? Mine does. I'm so proud of her.
I don't think I ate broccoli slaw till I was in my 30s. So
me either. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what was like some big wins you can claim from this past year? Like, yeah, that was a pretty proud accomplishment.
Yeah. Showing my kid teaching my kid that there's like no such thing as bad food.
Yeah.
Feels very empowering, because I know that I felt like there were bad foods. I know, like, when people in my life went on Weight Watchers, it was like, oh, it was like anti-fat everything, like no fat, no fat, anything, low fat, everything. It all tastes like trash.
Yes, it is. Because when there's no fat, they're putting trash in there. When there's no carbs, they're putting trash in there. You guys, like,
yeah, so it feels good to like eat whole foods with my kid. And she's like, Mama, I want to try some of your lunch. And she like eats a bite of like beans, lentils, quinoa, and chickpeas, and like spicy bean burger. And she's like, that's good. I'm like, oh. That's a huge win for me, that my kid isn't living on noodles, though she loves her noodles. I mean, like, it's hard to separate, like, my energy isn't measurable. But to go for a long run, like, so I went half marathon earlier this month. It was my first half marathon. I ran one 6 months postpartum. It sucked. The same one. The same half marathon.
On this half marathon.
Yeah. It sucked. But I did it, you know. But the one that I did this last month, it felt great to just run and feel good at the end. And all my training runs, to go for a 10-mile run and then come home and put on my mom hat and just keep going and not have to sit on the sofa all day recovering, is crazy. My work productivity is better, because I don't like sit at my desk and then like suddenly get dizzy or feel nauseous. I can donate blood again. I had to stop donating blood back in like 2016, because I always just like, I felt so garbage afterwards.
Yeah.
But now I can donate blood and I feel good afterwards.
Awesome.
I've gotten faster running, which has never been a goal of mine. I still would not consider myself a fast runner, but like, I'm much quicker than I used to be, and I'm like peeling off PRs all the time, which feels fun. I mean, obviously, like, I've lost, this morning I weighed in at 133, so that's like 40 pounds.
Woof! And a whole new closet. Yeah, we forgot about that extra expense.
Yeah, and I actually, I can't wear my engagement ring anymore, because it doesn't stay on. I already had a spacer on it, but my wedding ring is next. So we need new rings.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, my entire closet still needs replacing. It is in the process of being replaced.
Donate clothes towards Michelle.
If someone,
some encouragement in other ways.
Yeah, if folks are in the market for professional clothing, holler. Yeah, I think just like seeing my kid enjoy food and know that that's laying a really strong foundation for her. She's only 3, but like, I don't know, how old are you? Like 8? When you start being like, noticing like, oh, something about your body is wrong. Talking to my kid about like how women can be strong, and when she like picks up like a thing of almond milk and she's like, Mom, I'm strong because I ate protein. I'm like, good job, babe. Yeah, I don't know. And just like the never ending journey of trying to like appreciate your body and be thankful for what your body can do, which is still really hard. But it gets easier when you start to feel, I didn't know my body could feel this happy. I mean, it never felt this happy in college. I was living on rice and bagels.
Great. Totally great. If you're happy with other stuff.
It's like, wow, like I have energy and I wake up and I'm ready to take on the day. Most days. It's not like every day is sunshine and daisies, but like, I mean, this last week sucked, you know, but like,
but also like, what was the sentence that I like copied and pasted back to you today? Like this is what's so great. Like just what your goal was right now.
My goal was to like, not overdo it and be an idiot.
Yes.
Get a prize for being a champion. I don't know. I'll pull it up, but
but really it was just like this whole thing about like appreciating your body and nourishing it and like giving it the recovery that she needed, because you knew it wasn't worth going balls to the wall.
It was in response to, what are your nutrition goals right now? My response was giving gratitude to my metabolism and keeping me strong.
Yeah. That's huge. It's not, I need to lose these last 5 pounds. It's not, I hate the way I look in a bathing suit. It's giving gratitude. Like, how cool is this that I have a strong, capable body and that I worked hard to earn this body that I get to live in every day. I think that's what's so crappy is that we can all go buy a bunch of stuff, right? We can go buy the purse and buy the shoes and buy the car and have these things that we think like give us this status or whatever, but it's all just like a facade for the things that we're covering up, right? Like truly we're unhappy with something with ourselves. So if we could just place some of that Louis Vuitton money into our body and maybe like buy the Louis Vuitton later on once we figure out this whole how do I love my body in all the seasons type of thing. I think it's a better investment, but that's just me. And I have a few Louis Vuittons, but I sure as hell love my body. So, all right, cool. So, anything else you want to touch upon about this past year? I mean, I think it's been so cool. You've definitely put out the vibe. Like everybody knows there is a glow about you. You've transformed. Your coworkers see it. Your family sees it. Your friends see it. And I think that's the cool thing is that this wasn't like a, hey, I'm doing this just for me. Like everybody else gets to like get some of that extra Michelle. Like, ooh, okay, I love having this girl in my life. Like she's excited about life and that makes me want to be excited about stuff.
I think the only other thing I've learned that I was really fearful of is like meal prep to me was like this Pinterest doom place of just like having to spend your entire weekend making all this food. And like, I did my meal prep today in like under an hour. And that included a detour because I forgot to buy my freaking tortillas to go back to King's, and I stopped at McGill's too. I still like it's protein, veg, like protein fiber. Yep. I get my 30 grams of protein. And I have no problem with fiber, a crap ton of fiber. I don't even pay attention anymore.
You don't even have to. It's just so natural. And that's what we're trying to like create here, you guys. We track and we talk about MyFitnessPal and stuff so that we get used to it, right? You cannot manage what you're not measuring. Like you wouldn't just be collecting paychecks and be like, okay, cool. Yeah, I have money in the bank and then paying bills and like not keeping track of that, right? Like we have to know, hey, when I work this many hours, I make this much money. I can pay for these bills. It's not a, oh, I'm tracking my calories because I'm being super restrictive or neurotic. It's no, we have to know like where that energy is coming from. Like we have a daily budget. We know how much we should be bringing in. We know how much we're like spending. And we just want to make sure that our body knows what it can and can't do with certain amounts of energy so that, again, Michelle doesn't even have to track anymore. Like she literally could stop tomorrow and she would be just fine, but she's a data geek like me. She just likes the numbers. She likes the accountability and the consistency. And it feels good to like hit those numbers and have something to work towards each day. Not as a form of like, I don't want to overeat sometimes. Sometimes it's like, I need to make sure I'm eating enough to keep up with all the stuff I'm doing in this and all the hats that I wear in life. So
yeah, I guess that's some self-awareness I've gained, which I knew, but I didn't realize the consequences of it before. Is like when things get busy at work, the first thing to go is lunch. Like, and that is a non-negotiable now. If my work wife is here, she knows I'm always like, go eat your lunch. Yeah, just shoot, there was something else you said that I was gonna.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, and managing expectations when it just isn't worth it. Like Christmas dinner with the family. I don't care. Like I just like, okay, I'm probably going to weigh more in the morning. Yeah. Who cares? It just doesn't matter. It's not worth it to me to be like, oh, I'm going to measure my potatoes. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was really excited to see in my check-ins day, Mondays are my heavy check-in day with my clients. I didn't see anybody using the excuse of, well, it was Father's Day weekend. So I just like didn't track anything because I'm sorry, what? Like, what? Why does that matter? Why does that have anything to do with you like not being cognizant of what you're putting in your body? Why does it's a holiday, so we just eat like an asshole? Like that is mind-boggling to me. I had a conversation with somebody else in their check-in today where I'm like, okay, it sounds like you're a little bit, concerned with your alcohol intake sometimes. So can I just tell you something that worked for me? This past weekend, I chose to not have alcohol and to not have any like untracked meals because I know next weekend I'm going to have plenty of that, right? There wasn't anything special going on this last weekend. There was no reason to like not just give my body what it needed. in preparation of what I'm going to do next weekend, where I'm going to have extra calories. I'm going to have things that don't necessarily give me the best source of energy, and that's okay. So it's all about finding that balance. And like every weekend isn't a special occasion, and every holiday isn't an excuse to like go off the rails, right? So anyways, thank you for the expectation management.
Yes. And you'll see that in my check-in next week, because Sunday is the start of my week for you. I didn't log yesterday. I was in the mountains with my family for Father's Day.
Right.
I didn't eat like an idiot. You know, I enjoyed the chips and dip. And you know, we had burgers and like whatever. Like I'm fine. I'll be low. Like I didn't hit my yellow lines yesterday in the app, but like I probably did if I had bothered to log it. I probably didn't hit my protein yesterday, but like who cares?
And I mean, you've earned that, right? I think that's the thing. It's like, I've earned the ability to trust myself to make the best decision, and to know that what I do most of the time definitely is good enough for the results that I want.
But to be clear, I didn't earn that because I've lost a bunch of weight.
Nope.
I earned that just as well, you know, in month 1 with you. I earned plenty of those as well. So
you earned the education, the awareness, the idea that you were consistent AF almost every single day. Like that just, again, was an opportunity for you to earn the trust that you have in yourself to be successful with it and to not like go off the rails. So, yeah. We don't earn food, nothing like that, but we earn the ability to like eat more intuitively when we've practiced how to eat in a better way that's supportive of our goals. So that's all. All right, cool. Anything else?
I think all I can add is that if you can find the room in your budget, if you are fortunate enough to have that room in your budget, it's 100% worth it. Like go on mint.com, have it analyze your spending and shame you for your Starbucks habit, because I know my Mint did, or your subscriptions or whatever. So I guess 2 things. Like 1, I know it's a huge privilege to be able to afford personal one-on-one coaching, which is why the small group coaching is a great opportunity. Which is also why I'm saving to sponsor a scholarship for the small coaching.
Yes, she is, you guys. Yes, she's gonna put somebody through my small group coaching later this year, which is super exciting. Don't get it twisted. That's not coming up anytime soon. We still got the summer for one-on-one coaching, you guys.
No, we're not there. But it is worth it to invest in yourself. And I don't know. It totally turned what I thought about weight loss and healthy living upside down, because I thought I just had to live on like apples and like a quarter cup of yogurt with a quarter cup of granola or some crap like that. I have 2 to 3 breakfasts a day now. Like I have never eaten more in my life.
Great. We're the queens of second breakfast. We love it. Who can have just 1 breakfast a day? And like, who doesn't love breakfast, you guys? Michelle and I have at least 2.
At least. So yeah, if folks are on the fence, my door is always open. Of course, I'm not on Facebook. So
yeah, she's not on Facebook. She is on Instagram. I can hook you up if you ever want to talk to her. But I hope that this answered plenty of questions that I know a lot of you have. And with that, anything else? All right.
I think that's it.
So let's answer the other big question. Let's have the other exciting surprise of the night. Thank you so much, Michelle. Like, I'm literally going to get off this call and go bawl in my bed right now because I'm just like so overcome with like excitement about this. But our big winner, you guys, of the scholarships, there was like 30 women that submitted for this. And like, I just have to tell you what an honor that is to even think that like 30 of you would be interested in doing something that I have poured my blood, sweat, tears, heart, money, energy into for the past year and a half. Plus, obviously, I've only been in business like a year and a half, but I've been doing this for a while. And it is just so great to know that there are so many of you that truly see like that I just shine. I'm sorry. Like I do. Like I love my life. I love the body I live in right now. I love the life that I live. And that only happened because I was willing to make that investment in myself over 2 years ago. And here we are 116 weeks later, and I'm still with my one-on-one coach. So big winner of the night, you guys. 3 months of one-on-one coaching goes to Jen Weber. So Jen, hit me up, girl. I'll hit you up. You don't need to hit me up, but like maybe, drop a comment or something, say that you're super amped. And then we have 3 more winners, and I'm not going to announce them. Just keep those phones close by, you guys, because I'll be shooting you a text in a little bit. I need to eat the rest of my food. I have this big ass plate of veggies here. I like housed my salad before I got on with Michelle, but I still got plenty of veggies. So I'll be texting a few of you here in just a few minutes, but yes, congrats, Jen. What? I never win anything. Oh, well, I'm so excited for you. And if you need anything, Michelle will hook you up, but you're about to be welcomed into her world in our world. So really excited for you, Jen. And the others, you'll hear from me soon. But I hope you all have an amazing night. Again, if you enjoyed any of this or you learned anything or you're like, hell yeah, Michelle, you're a beast, like drop an emoji or a comment or something. But you guys are awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. I think I'm going to come back on here live on Thursday. I haven't decided. If you would like me to do a live on Thursday and teach on something, will you please put that in the comments? Otherwise, like maybe I just take the week off since we did this amazing presentation tonight. But all right, you guys, love you. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out, ladies.